Hi, Prof.
Yeah.
Good evening, viewers, and
Um,
welcome to another edition of the Literary Hour. We are here with our backgrounds, wishing you a Merry Christmas.
yeah,
We'll be here next week, so we'll wish you a Happy New Year. But thank
yeah.
you for joining us, Prof. It's
Yes,
good to see you again.
back on the road. Yeah, back on the road.
Yes, welcome, Prof. We're back.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, yes. And today we're going to talk about Christmas and celebrating Christmas and all the things in between. Share the show. If you haven't done so, please share the show and join us in discussing Christmas and all things Christmassy. So, Prof, how, how, how did they know that Jesus was born on December 25th?
No, actually, you look at biblical history, you find out that some of these things were infused by religious leaders, traditional leaders at the time. So I'm talking about the the area of birth, or the area that gave us the story about the birth of Christ. So yeah, in fact, you will realize that the Jehovah Witnesses, they don't celebrate Christmas. They don't celebrate. They know about April, in which actually the birth occurred, and as I said, religious leaders give it a flavor that it has today, which is the 25th, the December 25th type of thing. Mm-hmm.
And when we were doing our little research, you and I, they said that it was Constantine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Constantine. Yeah,
Constantine, who, yeah,
actually, Constantine had a very dominant impact on the whole story of Christ and all that. So when we are celebrating these things, it's important for us to take some of the strands of the story with a grain of salt. As I always say, in fact, this whole thing about Christ was uh, blue-eyed person and this. I always say I go for the essence. I go for the essence of the story rather than talking about the peripheral type of thing, the color of the skin in the case of Christ and all that. So hey, it's me now. It's me because since I know some of the background or significant part of the background, I don't worry so much about the peripheral uh, aspects of the story.
yeah. And so, I mean, Christmas has been like one of the holidays that I like.
Yeah.
I love New Year because
Mm-hmm.
I see New Year as a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I like Christmas. It's time for family and food and things. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, New Year is kind of like, I know people we always go to watch meeting and we'll talk about that, but for me, New Year is more personal. Whereas Christmas is family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think New Year is
Mm-hmm.
it's the individual
Mm-hmm.
making their resolutions to carry
Mm-hmm.
it out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they
So
will ever do.
the year goes fast, bro. The year goes fast,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're here for Christmas. We have people in Liberia,
Mm-hmm.
wishing each other Christmas. I think very soon it will be
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. No, yeah, it will be Christmas in Liberia very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we are here waiting for it, it hasn't snowed here a lot, so I don't know if I'm gonna have a white Christmas. But how about on your side, Prof? Has it snowed?
Same thing. No, no white snow. I mean, no white Christmas. Um, the thing about Christmas, that's when you really moving from one culture to another within the context of those who celebrate Christmas. That's when you see the culture of dependency or the culture of sharing and all that kind of a thing. For some people, it's just one perspective. They expect you to give them the Christmas and all that kind of a thing,
Yeah.
and they never do the same. It's always what you give me for my Christmas. Even those who are not so much attached to you, the very fact that we are in the same community and what have you is always my Christmas on you. It's never. But when I was growing up, before I turned the mic over to you, when I was growing up, I grew up in rural Liberia, by the way, and it was a pleasant thing for me. I still carry that memory of people who were farther from us in the hinterland. They will bring things to our house. I'm talking about my Nagbe home. People will bring things and say, "Well, I brought your Christmas." They will bring a huge bunch of bananas or plantains. They will bring cassava. Some of them, if they had yams, they bring yams and what have you. And it became reciprocal, And then when they were going, my dad got some salt and a few other things, those things that we'll call the imported things for them. That was the beautiful thing about it. But when I got to the city, it was a different ball game. It was always somebody stopping by my house and saying, I came for my Christmas. And I look in their hands and nothing will I find. So I don't know. Maybe this conversation will bring things like that out with respect to some of those who had the experience that I had, where it was a give and take instead of one person give, not get type of thing.
The characteristics of reciprocity in Liberia um, existed long time, because
Yeah, yeah, of course.
even in essence, when somebody gives you, like somebody comes to your house with a bowl with some
Mhm.
soup,
Yeah.
you never take the bowl back empty.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Mm-hmm.
the first time I had given somebody something in the United States, a little stew, because they liked the way I cooked. And they brought the bowl back to me empty. I was like,
Oh.
what? So in Liberia, that was there, reciprocity. If you give me, I give you. In fact, my grandmother used to say, when you stretch out your hand to take something,
Mm-hmm.
you have two hands, so make sure the other hand is giving
Yeah.
something. And I don't know if it's poverty, because we've always, I mean, poverty always existed,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't understand how and you're right, even people who now are not how do you call it, are not poor, they
Yeah.
will say, my Christmas on you,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Prof, one of the things is that, like you said before, people used to come from the rural areas and
Yeah.
bring things,
Mm-hmm.
and that has kind of like
Faded away.
lesson, let me
Yeah.
put it that way,
Lesson. What?
lesson. It has lesson,
Mm-hmm.
if I may say that. But I will say that people expect things of those who have been given things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it means that if Christmas is coming and someone is your friend, it
Mm-hmm.
is expected that for you to show that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you have to show it in terms of giving something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole spirit of Christmas, Prof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The whole. I again, some of these things I'm talking about the whole idea of give and take. Uh, Sometimes uh, we tend to forget them, and maybe gentle reminders can go a long way. Sometimes it's not so much of the person being mean; it's just gentle reminders. But for some, they just like in other countries, Ghana, Nigeria, all those places. When Christmas is coming, people get into that spirit of let's give and take type of thing. But I don't know. Maybe like I said, chatting on a show like this will bring that up.
So is it indigenous just to Liberia when somebody says my Christmas is on you, or is
Well,
it that?
I don't know about the indigeneity of it, but it's I think it's grown well. Maybe what I'm about to say cannot be globalized. Maybe it varies from community to community. That's what it is. And in the case of Nigeria and Ghana, that is not to say that they are better than Liberians or some Liberians and what have you, but it's the constancy of that spirit of give and take brings it out.
Yeah, if we can kind of like juxtapose
Mm,
Western or the United States Christmas with
mm,
Liberian Christmas,
mm,
how do you see it? Because I see that both of them,
mm,
family is the core, right? Most
mm,
people, I'll be home for Christmas. Most people want
mm,
to go home for
mm.
Christmas,
Yeah.
so they do go home. So in that Liberia, the characteristics of Liberia Christmas and the Christmas is fine,
Mm,
right? It's the same.
mhm.
It's family,
Yeah.
it's loved ones, and then of course it's lots of good food.
Yeah. Lots of good food.
And both cultures, it seems as if Christmas is one of the characteristics is church. People go to
Hmm.
church. They count
Hmm.
Advent. I mean, they count Christmas,
The seasons of
the seasons of Christmas.
the
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah. So they do that. So
Oh.
except that we don't go into these little things. Although now it is like under the mistletoe, you get a kiss,
Hmm.
or some people say, oh, white Christmas, we don't have that, but we
Hmm.
do have things that are common
Well, yeah. I
characteristics.
mean,
Yes.
we of course we need to always keep in mind that Liberia grew out of America. So those who were at the top of the social culture, the political culture, even the economic culture, they try as much as possible to imitate America in that regard.
Or the West, because I mean,
Like the
Christmas is
West.
not, it's not indigenous to just America,
No.
and I know that when we were little, I think they still do it now. The president used to have a Christmas party
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for
yeah.
for,
So,
and I think we have a
photograph
photo of
uh,
President William V.S. Tubman in
coming,
1953.
coming down to the level of the young people. And that's why he was. Well, that's why he was a people's president.
Well, I don't know about that, but
That's what.
but it was captioned the future of Liberia. But that's
Yeah.
the president with his young
Yeah.
citizens.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Tobo called them his precious jewels.
precious jewels. Yes, yes, precious jewels. Yeah, and of course now there are a lot of people who go home and they have little Christmas parties for
Yeah.
kids,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I know people will. I know that this is not the time to be critical because the kids, you know, it's nice that they have parties.
Hmm.
But Prof, one of the things that really gets me is that I always say, don't just take food. It would be such a nice thing because I'm so concerned about ownership and agency
Hmm.
that if you had money to come into the community where there are women and say, you know what, and men, and say, you know what, let's cook and have a party instead of bringing food. People bring food like, oh, I'm going to feed these people. No. And then when the people get together and cook, my grandmother used to say, why do you put your plate on your lap? Get a table. Let
Hmm.
our young kids sit at the table,
Yeah.
and eat and converse with
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
instead of sitting, some of them sit on the floor, they
Hmm.
put plate on their lap, and then
Hmm.
they're taking pictures of them. It
Hmm.
galls me. Prof, it really irritates me because
Eh,
for
mhm.
once, treat them like so they can aspire, so
Yeah.
they can say, these I was treated like a person,
Hmm.
not just somebody receiving something. I sat at the table, even if it's a bench. I put my food, I put my plate on a table,
Yeah.
not on my lap. But
Mhm.
anyway, that's an aside. We're not here
Well,
to preach today.
well, anyway, the thing about which is a good thing too, because it will depend on at the start the protocol. The protocol is an important part of it. In other words, if you all sit on the floor or sit around, like a picnic type of thing, and people see that, that's fine. But if you decide that this is going to be a table related type of thing, then that is what, in other words, consistency will be very much important. Consistency will be very much important in the process. So, yeah, if
Yes.
it is going to be one way, then we all go one way.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
it is
Yes.
the fact that, you people are from poor homes, therefore you sit on the floor, and you other
Yeah.
people are from, then that's a that divide
Yeah.
looks
I mean,
ugly.
growing up, I remember that they had tables. So the older,
Mm.
the older members of my family, they would sit
Yeah,
at the table in the
yeah,
dining room,
yes.
and we would sit at the table in the hallway. But we
Okay,
sat
all
at a
right.
table.
At least table will become the thing that glues all of you together in
Yes.
terms of saying if
Yes.
it is table.
And as you're growing,
Mhm.
you can't wait for the day where you go in the dining room to eat.
Yeah, that's uh, aspirational as well as inspirational.
Yes.
So that becomes very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was telling someone this, was it? No, yesterday I was telling someone uh, in our family what we did was that uh, the eve was a picnic time. We went about 1 or 2 miles away from town and had, maybe we had a goat or something of that sort, and we share that among 2, 3, or 4 families getting together and what have you. So, and then of course came the main day where uh, maybe older ones who had graduated from, because they came to stay at the home. And once they went to their own homes, then on Christmas Day, they all came together around a very large table, or a couple of them, and then food and everything got to be distributed for consumption.
Yeah, and there are many other little things that come along with
Mhm.
Christmas, like people have Secret Santa,
Yeah.
white elephant.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, I mean, my great grandmother used to buy clothes for us, and the funny thing was that we didn't. I mean, of course, we're in a new age.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, the kids today, but in those days, when you got shoes for Christmas,
Uh-huh.
or a dress,
Uh-huh.
you'd be so happy,
Yeah. Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
great grandmother would keep she would get it around the February
Yeah.
and keep it for Christmas. And
Yes.
then by the
Yes.
time you put it on, it's too tight for you. It's too tight.
Yes.
It's
All
too tight
those,
for you.
yes, all those little
But
vignettes.
one of the underlying things that you saw at Christmas was the was the setting aside of grudges,
Yeah.
because even within my family, like other families, there are people who
That's
are not speaking to each other.
a
I
human
mean,
thing.
older people. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
younger kids.
Mhm.
But at Christmas, they would cook bitter leaf.
Uh-huh.
They would bring, what's that wine? Cinzano,
The Cisano, yeah.
Cinzano. They would make
Campari.
ginger beer, Campari, and then
Uh-huh.
they bring it. And so for that time, Christmas also became a time of healing.
Yes.
Like let bygones be bygones.
Mhm.
Let's start the year anew.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Prof and I tried to find a poem written by Bitey Moore,
Mhm.
and the poem is about the. I even hesitate to use the word. So, Prof, I will let you explain what it is.
Yeah. No, it was a moment when masked dancers, still dancers as they call them, still dancers who. And in this poem about, well, let's give it the title he gave, Country Devil Meets Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the still dancer. And apparently, the speaker fell in love with the merging of the joyful moments from two cultures, for instance, the Western culture represented by the Santa Claus and the African culture represented by the masked dancer. Of course, the irony was that in the case of in the case of Santa Claus in the Western world, it is Santa Claus that gives gifts.
Yeah.
But in our case, in home-based Liberia, they the Santa Claus came in with entertainment
Yeah. And we give
and
them gifts.
and hoping to get gifts from you. They had stories. One such story has to do with, well, we found one of us went on the beach and saw this shipwrecked old man, and before he realized it, the old man realized it, the ship had left harbor, so he was left maroon on this island, and could you kindly help him? He will do a short entertainment for you, and then you help pay his way. So with that point made, then all of a sudden the drums and accompanying instruments got into operation, and probably the guy would dance for 5 minutes, depending on the rousing spirit in the place there. He would dance for 5 minutes, and then of course the people will say thank you, and somebody will give some money. And they had a bursar. The bursar went and took the money. It had one of the things I often treasure was that at least the bit that I got, they never fuss about someone cheating.
Yeah.
You know, what they did was that they went around town, and after that, the bursar announced the amount they got, and maybe they will decide, well, we are going to go. Well, before they started doing all that, they will have someone to do the cooking for them. So when they had the money, some went for cooking and some went for little liquor, what have you. Or if there were not many, they kind of distributed whatever they had and move on. So in that poem, the speaker kind of, or the voice of the poem wanted to show the uniqueness of these two people coming together and making much of life as they will find fit.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. For those of you who would like to read it, it's in Ebony Dust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have Voices from the Grassroots by Mighty Moore, and it's not in that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's interesting because if you look at it, and we said today is going to be lighthearted. We are not going to start preaching to anybody, but if you look at it, Prof, you see the merging of two cultures.
Yeah.
Even if not merging, they're encountering.
Yeah. Yeah.
They encounter each other. And the indigenous culture took away from this. Like, well, okay, you guys have this celebration,
Yes.
Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
but we are also part of this country,
Yes.
and we will partake
Yes.
of this as well.
Yes.
Now we are not going to don Santa Claus's costume, but we're going to come as we are,
yes,
in
that's
our
right.
own authority, and
Yes,
we're going
that's
to
right.
celebrate this with you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so it's if you look at the poem, it's really a metaphor for unity.
Yeah.
The coming together.
Yeah. That
Not only two, Prof, but the two who are the hallmarks.
Uh-huh.
Santa Claus is the hallmark of Christmas.
Yes.
And the traditional values
Yeah.
and customs is
Yeah.
with the tradition, with this traditional dancer. Yeah. Because I would hesitate to call them devil.
Yeah, well, actually, those that they
no,
know
I
better.
know.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
but
So the symphony of the cultural symphony is very much important.
yeah. So yeah, that is important. Yeah. So again, coming back to Christmas, Prof. when we say it's a time of celebration, right? And then we just discussed that people, not only people in the rural areas, even people in the city now, they
No, it
don't get
was
anything.
no for the city. That was actually, it was in a city that the thing often grooved. It
Yeah,
was in the city that Christmas grooved.
yeah, yeah,
uh, if of course in the rural areas, sometimes it was a time that people throughout the year they will have these social groupings.
yeah,
So on Christmas, if these people are not in the city areas, even in the rural areas, they will have drummers. They will have on a fancy uniform, and they will kind of have the celebration at the home of the leader. It will be at the home of the leader. So in November they began to put things together. Where they will do the cooking, what type of food they will have. Of course, mainly it will be rice and palm butter or whatever it was. So that's
we
on
don't
this.
eat palm butter on Christmas.
So uh,
We don't eat red oil on holidays and
I
Christmas.
say, well, now again, you are talking about the satellite urban areas now. That's what you're talking about. But with the real, African thing about it, they just went to work to prepare their little palm butter, prepare their little gigba, prepare their little tobogi or tobosui, and all that kind of a thing. So, but in Monrovia and other satellite places there, they had a whole course. You had the cabbage, ham, hog, and cabbage. You
Collard greens.
had collard greens.
Prof,
What
you
is
know
it?
what? It's very interesting, and Liberia is really, like we say, it's made up of so many
Yeah.
different groups.
Mm,
When I was growing up, my great grandmother
mm,
is Gribble.
mm-hmm.
And so she I mean, we would eat palm butter. I mean,
Yeah.
we eat palm butter,
All the time, right?
and then on Sunday she would say nobody eating red oil in this house. So we would eat, of course, collard greens, gravy, cabbage, and things like that. Growing up as a child, I always thought that it was because the red oil will go on your good Sunday dress, right? That,
Oh, no.
that you wear your best clothes on Sunday. You don't want the palm oil to go on it. It wasn't until I started reading all of these things that I realized that, so they call it heathen food. No, I mean, I don't mean to laugh. What I'm saying is that things had an assigned place in the culture of Liberia,
Significance. Yes,
be
yes,
it
yes.
indigenous
Symbolism.
or
Mm-hmm,
settler.
mm-hmm.
And when I say everything, I meant everything
Yeah,
in its assigned place.
yeah.
That's why when you want to get the woven cloth, you
Mm-hmm.
go up to the rural
Yeah,
area.
go
But when you
far.
want
Yeah.
to get quilts, you
Yes,
go to the settlement,
yes,
Cherished, Brewerville.
yes,
You go buy
yes.
quilts from there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I'm just making a comment that things are like that. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
but anyway, we're discussing Christmas, so feel
mm-hmm.
free to put your things in
The
the chat,
ones in
because
the
we'll start
kitchen.
asking you questions now
Yeah,
to make it
yeah.
more
Mm-hmm,
interactive.
mm-hmm.
And then we come to Prof. I just want to
Yeah.
mention Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa,
Yeah,
okay.
and the reason I want to mention Kwanzaa is that
Mm-hmm,
a lot of the Americans, white Americans, they actually think that this is an African holiday,
mm-hmm,
and it's not. It's not an African holiday, right?
mm-hmm,
It's 7 days from December 26th to January
mm-hmm,
1st. So
mm-hmm,
you can celebrate Christmas and you can celebrate Kwanzaa.
mm-hmm.
There are 7 principles that you go
Yeah,
through. Excuse me, and then you don't say Merry Christmas, you say Joyous Kwanzaa,
yeah.
right? But this
Mm-hmm.
this is a holiday that was
A professor.
yeah, created by
Yeah,
a professor, Karinga,
yeah.
from the University of California. I mean,
Yes.
California State University,
Okay.
right? Who decided that he wanted to do this because he felt like blacks should have their own
Mm-hmm.
holiday, and he said it's a cultural revolution,
Mm-hmm.
that they should
And
have a cultural revolution.
yes, and of course, you will see that these were all strands embedded with Pan-Africanism. These were strands embedded with, especially when Pan-Africanism became a movement instead of just an ideology.
Yeah.
So some, you see, that's the thing about interest. That's the thing about reading. Anyone who do and will take interest in Kwanzaa, who want to at least, it doesn't take up much time to do a little background to see that this was uh, a Pan-Africanist input as opposed to being the authentic, African or original African type of thing in the process.
And one of the things I like about Kwanzaa is that when you're giving gifts for Kwanzaa, the
Mm-hmm.
gifts have to be handmade.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Handmade or
Mm-hmm.
simple gifts. It's not like
Okay.
you're going to get broke like
Okay.
Christmas. You want you
Yeah.
want you want a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
camera or something.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa, it has to
Impressive.
be handmade. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good. And the reason I brought it up was that a lot of people, a lot of Europeans, they think that Africans know about Kwanzaa,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not think that Kwanzaa is celebrated in Africa.
No, 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 no. Of course, I
Yeah,
mean that's what. No, it's an American invention,
yeah,
African American invention, and even that too, it doesn't cut across the entire population of African Americans. It's just people who have taken interest in it as a way of still finding out to demonstrate their Africanness, especially with the names, the names that are given to the cycle.
yeah.
You will find out that it has more of East African type of East African flavor of the names that they
Yeah, because
give.
of the Swahili
Yes,
seven
the
principles.
Kiswahili, yeah, Kiswahili,
But
Ujamaa.
Prof, the reason I was saying that was because when my daughters, when they were little,
Yeah.
Chris came home and she said, "Oh, my teacher wants you to come and talk about Christmas." And there I was standing in front of the class
Mm.
talking about, oh, in Liberia, we cook, we do this, and the woman was like, "So when are you going to talk about Kwanzaa?" And actually, I was like, "What?" Because she
Kwanzaa.
assumed I was black and I knew about Kwanzaa, and I didn't at that point I didn't even know about the seven principles or anything. And I'm
Kwanzaa.
standing in front of the class, and that was that was very interesting. Yeah. But yeah, but some Africans that are here in the United States, they do, they've learned about it and
Yeah,
they
of
do,
course, of
yeah,
course.
do it.
Because
But I don't think
since
that
it's
it's yeah, I don't think
close
that it's
to Africanness, okay, why don't you?
yeah, yeah. So we're going we have some questions that we're going to ask the audience and each other to talk about it. But what other things can we talk about Liberia? And are there going to be are they having a Christmas party for kids? Do you know?
Well,
Do they hold those things anymore?
I will be surprised if that will not be happening, but I also will not be surprised if it is not happening. There's this whole thing about commonality, this whole thing about communalism and what have you. All those things are part and parcel of something of that nature. For instance, if the older people, if the elders are having their time of enjoyment as far as Christmas is concerned, then the question is, why won't they spread out? I know I am affiliating with a heritage group, a Liberian heritage group. What that group does is that, and I don't think they are unique. Uh, there are people who gather gifts and have people home based who organize parties for the community, children and what have you. So every now and then something appears on the Facebook or appear in Messenger celebrating the parties and things they've done at home. and the news comes to the United States.
And they sit on a table with the food on the table.
They sit around. That's all I know.
Yeah, yeah, that they sit around. Yeah. So we have some questions that we want to ask, but maybe we should go to comments first,
Yes, that's right. That
and
would be
then
good.
see what people are saying. Margaret Mapu Dyson says, "Merry Christmas. Focus on Liberia. Merry Christmas, Margaret. Merry Christmas." And Lauren says, "The Liberian Civil War made dependency almost systematic in our cultures."
Well, Lawrence, I beg to differ. This dependency thing. You almost, I think it's been with us a time longer than we shouldn't dump everything
Yeah, because
on
because
Civil
because
War.
because even the United States government, remember in the letters they were saying, "Oh, these people will not pay us back." They always like to ask us for stuff. I think, yeah, I think that sometimes, especially now, once you come through, I mean, not only civil crisis, Prof. Like even now, if you come through like the COVID, right,
Hmm.
and they
Hmm.
see a lot of people are quitting their jobs, right,
Yeah, yeah,
because it's like if you come through a war, you know how precious life can be and how quickly it can be snuffed out.
yeah.
So you're like, me, I will just live for today.
I,
That's all I want, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Because you always knew that the next day was not guaranteed. But
yeah,
the war brought it in front and center.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yeah.
But yes, but the dependency thing, that's what I'm talking about, Lawrence. I mean, you have a point there, but I'm just saying that we have to pull back a little when we want to dump everything on, or most things on the Civil War. Uh,
How long has it been, the Civil War? That's
how long, 20 plus. But the thing about it is that if I want to talk about this thing about dependency, I'll go really when I was even in high school. That's what I'm talking about. When I was in high school, when I was in college. So I mean, that's so many years uh, passed. So yes, the dependency of the war has thrown in its little punches there, here and there. But anyway,
Alfred Kofa said people don't bring produce from rural areas anymore for city folks due to two factors: the
uh-huh,
pandemic.
uh-huh,
Local farmers don't have many farms. No
yeah,
government support to create farms.
yeah,
Liberia needs 20,000 farms as a nation.
okay, okay, I buy that.
And farm to market roads also.
Uh-huh,
There
yeah,
are no
road,
there are no roads. You know
road,
what? Yeah,
the road network. But the pandemic thing now, pandemic just happened to. This is the second year, so to even put that one in there, and that's the one I'm thinking about.
because on Facebook they had something where these people were sitting in a truck and their food was getting rotten
Yeah.
because they
Mhm.
couldn't get to the market. So I think that
That
farm to
farm to
market
market
roads
road
are
thing
very
is,
important.
yeah, yeah, the road network,
Road
actually,
network.
road network,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
is a
yeah.
serious part.
So, Prof, we're coming to. So the questions, the audience can get involved in it. But
Hmm.
what is your favorite part of Christmas?
uh who as a child, who will not take the eating part?
Okay,
You mean, if you mean now, actually, I'm ashamed to say that I'm a reserved person, and so this Christmas thing and all that, they don't just blow me up that much. I just, Christmas comes when it will come. When it goes, I just say thank you to God and move on.
so your favorite part of Christmas used to be the food.
The food, and then have new clothes to blow the girls' minds. What are you talking about?
Okay. And what was your favorite gift ever given you on Christmas?
Oh, uh, I I know that it was somewhere around Christmas time that I learned how to ride a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned how to ride a bicycle. This day, I've been whining in the ears of the old man, and this day, the first vehicle he ever had was a bicycle. And so, in rural Liberia, you had to really be something special for your parents to just fly around the bicycle. So this day he I didn't. It came out of surprise. I had, as I said, I had wine in his ears, and maybe this day he got tired, and he said, "Well, look, if you find get one of the older boys, let him take you to learn how to ride bicycle." And the fun about it is that after I knew how to ride bicycle, almost every trip it was like a mile or two to the best store to get items. I, whether I went to play football, they had to call me to it was almost like, "My man, you found your own trouble now." So
And
where are you?
what was your least favorite?
Uh hmm. Oh, Jackie. No, I can't. I won't recall that one now. I mean, well, I guess that the question is good because it's good to think about your highest point of happiness and your least point of so. But I can't remember that one. But it is the bicycle thing I do remember.
Okay, and then the other, it says, what is your Christmas wish for Liberia?
Hmm. You know, both of us is to see Liberia grow out of the doldrums. To see Liberia make significant progress so that even if you are far away from Liberia, once you have the money to go, you should be itching all over to go. And so I wish the very best for Liberia. You're caught down on the killing and all that one there, try as much as possible to be fairly at peace with one another.
And then the last question is, what will you be doing tomorrow?
What I will be doing tomorrow, I know I will be at home. I know I will, besides maybe sleeping a couple of hours, I know I'll be on some little project. That's all I will be doing. One of my brothers asked whether I'll be visiting their home, but I'm not sure. So I just left it. I said, well, I don't know. Tomorrow is another thing.
I
Now
think.
the light is on you now. What?
Oh, yeah. Favorite Christmas gift. My father had a bookstore,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and this is not even when I was very young. I
Mm,
was in high school, and I used to always go there.
mm.
That was my summer job, but I used to read his books, and he used to get angry with me. I mean,
Uh-oh.
not that he didn't want me to read, but
Yeah.
I used to like bend the pages.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah,
Dog hearing everything.
yeah, and I just love reading, and I remember that. Well, there are two things. One was a bike, but that was when I was a child.
Mm.
And he came to the house one day, and he brought three books for me, and he said, "Okay, you wanted these books. I see you reading them every time here."
Take
And they
them.
were all books by Sidney Sheldon. Oh,
Oh, yeah. You
Prof,
people.
I
Take
think
them.
that day I died and went to heaven. Because Liberians, I mean, those of you who used to read, I mean, Sidney Sheldon, man,
Yeah,
oh
Sheldon.
my
Yes.
God. So I read those three books. I think within 2 days I was done. But
Wow.
that was my favorite. And my least favorite, like you, shoes and
I
clothes.
see.
I mean, I'm not a big clothes person, or I do like shoes, but I
Yeah.
mean, why spend money, to get 10 dresses when you can have five? You got
Yeah,
5 days in
that's
a week.
right.
Yeah. And then I think that, what was the other one? And people, and please, audience, you can list yours too. We will
Mhm.
read them. What is your Christmas wish for? What was your favorite part of Christmas? Is the food? What is your Christmas wish for
Yeah.
Liberia, and what will you do on Christmas 2021? Okay, my Christmas wish for Liberia is peace. I want I want Liberians to lift Liberia up, as we always say. I want us to know that people always say, "Oh, when we were talking about Cape Maserado, right?"
Mhm.
And people were sending us mails like, "Oh, you're trying to divide the country." No, we're not. We're trying to
We want
set
to know.
set that's what we say. You investigate and know your own truth. But when you know your truth, underlying is we are all Liberians, and
Yeah.
that's what we always end it with. So I want Liberians to know that there has been no country that has not grown out of conflict.
Mhm.
There's no country, Prof.
None.
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 People have fought, people have killed, and then people have and then the country has fallen, gotten up, fallen, gotten up. And people always say, oh, these countries were colonized. Yes, they were colonized, but in one way or the other, we're all
Mm.
colonial subjects.
Mm.
Don't bring up the thing about, oh, they took our land, we want boundary. We discussed that. But the African Union always maintain that we are to accept these boundaries. So
Yeah.
those are not things that we should bring up.
Mm-hmm.
We need to lift our country up. We are all like borders in a room, and
Yeah.
Liberia is the roof. And we have to keep that roof up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Prof, you and I, we have had many, many shows, and one of them we spoke about the role that Liberia had played in the world, the community of nations.
Yeah.
And just the other day I was reading Talbot's letters when he was speaking against the treatment of the people in Angola.
Yeah.
I mean, Liberia has always
Mm-hmm.
stood up for other countries in Africa and around the world. They've stood up sometimes at detriment
Yeah. Yeah.
to their own
Yeah.
livelihood and
Mm-hmm.
interest. They've stood up. So it is not a good thing for us to laugh at our country. It is not. I always say, I may be ashamed sometimes for my country because something happened, but I would never be ashamed of my country.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to lift Liberia
Yeah.
up. We have to speak, even if you say something bad about Liberia, qualify it with say, but it
Mm-hmm.
used to be like this.
Yeah.
So your children who don't know Liberia, some of them may never know anything about Liberia except through you.
Yeah.
Will say, my mother used to say that even though the country bad, it used to be good.
Yeah.
Because we do this service, and I think that's my Christmas wish for Liberia,
Yeah.
that people would remember the Liberia,
Mm-hmm.
and lift Liberia up. Yeah. And then what would I be doing tomorrow? Unfortunately,
It should have been in Liberia,
I should
right?
have been in Liberia, but those people canceled my ticket. So I'm here. So tomorrow I will be here. I will do what I did this morning. Take a walk in the woods because it really calms my mind. So I'll take a walk in
Frances.
the woods. I become like Thoreau. I'll go in the woods. I'll
Henry David
simplify.
Thoreau. Yes.
I will simplify in the woods.
Uh-huh.
It's beautiful that I'm surrounded by nature. You could walk in the
Yeah.
woods. You could see deer,
Mm-hmm.
chipmunk,
Mm.
porcupine, squirrel,
Or you
birds.
can take your machete and cut the head off and have some soup.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll take a walk and then I'll come back, maybe make donuts for breakfast,
Mm.
and then
Have a quiet time.
yeah, quiet time, collard greens, and fortunately, I'm also surrounded by a lot of wineries, so I have a lot of wine.
Get a bottle, right?
Yes, but I would just be grateful to God for
Yeah.
life, for health, for the kids,
Yeah.
and for the world. I think that we all, in our own way, will celebrate.
Yeah.
And if we may ask some of the people, our audience, how they will be celebrating.
Mhm.
So we Dennis says my favorite part of Christmas as a child was church activities. Oh,
Mhm.
singing Christmas carols.
There were a mission that his community was a mission community. So
Oh, and
yeah.
taking part in Christmas plays in Dude Weekend. That was the best part of the year. People came from all over, especially Greenville and Monrovia, to spend the holidays home. That's really, really. Emmanuel Jackson said, "I miss Christmas in Liberia. It was a time I saw all my relatives in Tala at our grandparents' village in Cape Mount.
Mhm.
We spent Christmas and New Year up there, swimming in Lake Piso
Yeah,
and
yeah.
eating a lot of Liberian food."
Mhm.
And Emmanuel, I pray that one day you'll be back in
Yeah,
Tala.
I know.
If they don't cancel your flight.
Frances.
Yeah. Yes, I pray. Yeah. Then it says Christmas was all wonderful. No least favorite part. I did not know about Christmas gifts until later in life. My Christmas wish for Liberia is to go back and celebrate the true meaning of Christ Christmas and not just copy the way it is done in the West. Yeah,
Okay.
and we would love to read more. So if some of you would like to list things about Christmas, please. We said today is going to be a light-hearted day. One of the things I remember about Christmas was just how full our house was.
Yeah.
Because growing up with my great grandmother, we were always in and out. But Christmas was the time you saw
But
families,
yeah,
from Plebo,
people, yeah,
Rocktown,
people,
they're
yeah,
coming. You meet all these families that you
of
didn't
my
know.
station.
Yeah, you meet the children as well,
Hmm.
and then you start eating. So Christmas is really a magical time.
Yeah.
And I pray that the young kids in Liberia, that they get to know what we knew at that time. I mean, we didn't, believe me, we didn't have gifts that were wrapped.
Mm.
It's in a bag. They say, "Come get your
Yeah,
clothes."
yeah.
At least you had it.
Hey, you had it.
Had it.
There was no Christmas tree under which to put the gifts and Santa Claus coming down the chimney. No, not of that
And
sort.
Prof. I mean, we don't we don't we can improvise. I remember they used to sing a song, and some people used to put Christmas lights on the palm tree. There's no reason you can't put it on a palm tree.
Yeah.
Oliver Zoduwase Liberia is one of the great country nationals in Africa. It will build in time to come. Yes, we pray,
Okay.
Oliver, that it will build in time to come. Yeah. So we pray that uh, um those who return who went to Liberia for the year of return, those who are there now enjoying all the Decemberies, is that what they're called, Decemberies? Yeah, we pray that they lift the country up also. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
and we will
But
try and get that poem so we can
yeah,
read we can read the poem
I'll
about
find it.
about that. Yeah.
About,
Yeah, because I think that it will be great to read about the
mhm.
the, the, the country
Yeah,
devil, and the Santa Claus meet.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah.
Yes.
And then we have, is there any we have a poem, right? Is there a poem that we can read? There's one.
Well, there's one that had to do with the elder praying because it will be around the end of the year that
Okay, so we'll do
the
that for New
elders
Year.
will.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I
So
think I think I think we can for New Year we will read a lot of poems with new beginnings.
uh-huh,
And people can send us through
yeah,
focusonliberia@gmail.com. They could send us their
yeah.
prayer for Liberia,
Yeah.
the prayer for a new year. If you
Hmm.
have anything you want us to read on the air for Liberia for New Year, please put it there, and we'll try and see if we can get people from Liberia to speak about New Year.
Yeah,
Because I mean, for our program it's because it's 6 o'clock and people are asleep.
yeah,
But we are hoping that we'll get people to talk about New Year and what it means to them, and their hopes and dreams for the coming year.
yeah.
Because I mean, Prof, this year went so fast.
Well, when so many things are going on, that's when the days go fast, the months go fast, and that's what you saw in 2021. The pandemic, and all the news surrounding a lot of the happenings, made the
Yeah.
thing go by fast. Woo!
Margaret Maple Dyson said, "Oh, is that just beautiful? Reading is indeed fundamental. I agree. My most cherished memories of Christmas are the ones spent with my mom, deceased, and
Okay.
siblings. And my most also very best present was a lifelike doll sent to me from the States from my mom. My eyes, I thought, would come out of my head. It was a black doll, and they
Oh,
were two, a Caucasian one too. I picked,
ah,
of course, the black doll and named her Betsy Lee. Betsy
Yeah.
Lee was a name I had picked from one of my first grade books. Oh,
Oh,
that's
I
so beautiful.
know.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
It's yeah. There was a store here that made handmade dolls.
Mm,
Yeah, and Chris's and Desi, the first dolls they had, well, the dolls they ever got were black dolls, you know. But the interesting thing was when I went home, I took a black doll for one of my father's ward, and she refused to play with it, which was
mm,
really sad, you
mm.
know. But oh, there's such a nice story. I can, Margaret. Chris got a black. This was, I mean, when she was a little bit grown, she got a black American Girl doll, and
Uh,
she loved that doll.
how
You
about
know,
that?
I've forgotten the name, but yeah, I mean, and the thing was that when we used to get dolls, I mean, Prof, time has really changed. You know, we
Mhm.
used to play with our dolls for like 30 minutes and then put it
Yeah.
in the box
Yes.
because we don't want to spoil
I
it.
know.
So we were rationing pleasure. You know, you play with the doll and then you
Yeah.
put it in the box because you don't want it
Uh,
to spoil. You know,
well,
I mean,
or
years
get
have really
dirty or
passed.
something.
You know, I
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think of those things and I laugh and I laugh.
Mhm,
I'm like,
mhm,
you know,
mhm.
you'd be like, oh no, let me take 2 hours. Let me just play with it for 1 hour before it's spoiled. but 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 you know, Prof, another thing is that I'm sure Betsy Lee that Margaret Dyson had
Mm,
and other things. We when you get something that you treasure, that you want, you know, I'm not talking about shoes and clothes. I'm talking about a gift because you
yeah.
see, I mean, a lot of times now the kids are growing up, they don't get to play, they don't get to be big kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
They're selling things. They're
Yeah.
they're they're, they're
Mm,
working. You know,
mm, mm.
when I took my daughter to Liberia, she was at the orphanage that she worked, the Judy Craig orphanage. I remember we were asking the kids, "What would you like for Christmas?" And I was shocked. Slippers,
Mm,
underwear,
mm.
trousers. You know, and I was
Yeah.
like, these kids should be asking for dolls, you know, and books and things, but they were
Mm,
asking for basic necessities, and that
yeah,
was
okay.
really,
I mean, that's again, that's what what we find is that at a point, whatever life offers you as a gap that needs to be filled, that's what you reach out for.
yeah,
I'm sure there might be kids who do not have everyday slippers, everyday shoes, or everyday decent clothing to wear. And so
yeah,
when they have the opportunity to be able to make a request, they run for that right away, hoping
yeah.
that Santa Claus will appear and say something about it. Who is this ambassador?
Ambassador Osana Wako Williams says my biggest experience I had for Christmas was my grandmother used to take us to the next village to dance bolo super.
Abono super, abono super. Yeah,
I was Maryland counting during
that
those
was a
days.
big Congo song, music, and people used to dance. Oh my God, it was a dancey type of song that whenever it struck, you you had to be someone who was deaf to music to not bounce up and begin to dance. Abono
So,
super.
Prof, let's see you. Can
Can
you sing it for us?
you please? No, no, no. Actually, it's it had a lot of instrumentals to it, but the refrain was always "Abono super, abono super," and then they go on to talk about it. Yes, it used to be. I to this day, if you had a song on, then you would buy me for 1 cent. I would dance it.
Oh, okay. So audience, we have to find it. We have to
No,
find it for Prof to dance it.
oh, get away. Yeah, that was good.
Margaret said, "Oh yes, we protected our dolls. Yep. See, I told you. Isn't that
Yes, the
how we take
choice.
care of
Yeah.
our children as we have them and
Hmm.
cherish them? Yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
Margaret, and
Hmm.
you're right, Prof.
Hmm.
We're gonna find that song.
Oh,
There was a song in Liberia that they used to sing. I can't sing very well, but Prof. It was there was a lady at Elwa,
Mm,
EWA.
mm.
I think who used to sing the song about the green Christmas. Remember
Oh,
that song?
oh.
So how so
I,
Prof, we're gonna close. Let's
yes,
close.
yes. No, no. I remember that song. In the song, she said, "I'm not interested in white Christmas. I
Yeah,
love
I
my
know the
green
words
Christmas."
because I was a child and I learned. I think I learned it by heart.
And no, I didn't get the lyrics straight on, but I know phrases here and there. And she used to love singing that
And
whenever
they used to
Christmas
play it
comes.
all the
Ye-
time at
Yes,
Christmas. Let me
yes,
try and
yes.
see if I know it. It's a wise men came way from the east just to worship at his feet. Presented gifts, gold, myrrh, frankincense, and anointed him King of Kings.
You see?
So I don't like it cold.
Yes.
Don't like to walk on ice and
You
snow.
see?
I like the green
Yes,
Christmas
man. Yes. How
with
about that?
fresh
At least.
greens everywhere. And then
Yes.
the chorus, green grass, green bushes,
Uh-huh.
flowers blooming here and
Uh-huh. You
there,
see?
green
You
trees,
see?
green palms
All right,
waving
Jackie.
in the
Yeah.
air, pum pum pum. I like the green
All
Christmas
right.
with fresh greens
Give it up for
everywhere.
Jackie.
I remember, Prof. The funny thing is that when you learn these things as a child, you
Mm.
remember.
Especially, you learned it and you felt so much in love with them, they never so easily leave you.
Yeah, because what
Yes.
you say, green, bum bum bum. Then we well, as children, that's what we say, bum bum
Bum.
bum.
Children like sounds and all that, and
Children.
colors and all that. Yes.
See, Emmanuel, remember that song? Oh,
Uh,
Abono Super. Oh no, he remember
what?
Abono Super.
Bono Super, yes, you might remember that. You should have gotten it on YouTube. I don't know whether it's
Oh,
there.
I know that copyright maybe. I don't know.
Oh, what
Prof,
you
we're
call
going to find that
copyright?
song and we're going to let you dance it
Oh
Abono Super.
no! Please don't find it. Please. Otherwise, somebody will pay $5 to enter.
Mr. Jerome Given said, my biggest experience was looking forward to the various Santa Clauses coming and dancing. But
Yes,
the
yes,
best part was a character called the Speaker. He could
yes,
recite the birth stories of how he came into existence. Total fiction.
yes.
But
You
we
know
as
that
kids
was.
look forward to it. Prof, you know the speaker?
Uh, uh, no, I mean what I'm saying. No, the group often pick a speaker because the group will get to older people sitting around in need of entertainment, and he will be like someone introducing the occasion and then talking about setting the stage for the Santa Claus to begin dancing. Yeah. So each group had its own speaker.
Prof, I'm going to find that song and Margaret says I think it's on YouTube.
Margaret, you better don't find it.
Check our Christmas songs from Liberia. It's on YouTube or maybe another artist because most of our songs are songs from here carried there. Okay, thank you, Margaret. I'm going to find that song, Prof,
So-
and we're going to take it to the Liberian Studies Conference,
oh
and
my
we're
God.
going to
About that. What the president said? Mary
Mary
spoiled
Spot.
child.
She said
She-
Chris was born on Christmas Day. Well, well, wasn't he born on Christmas Day? He was. So okay, Prof. Yeah. So next week we will try our best to get people from home,
For the New Year
to
part.
come on the show and to talk about
Mhm.
the new year hopes and dreams for
The
Liberia and for
solution.
themselves. We
Yeah.
ask you to join us again. Today was we didn't want to not have the show. We wanted it to be lighthearted. We
Yeah.
wanted to, and I learned something. Abono Super.
Bonus super.
Abono Super. I learned something. So we want to say thank you. I know you all are going to enjoy Christmas tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining. Mr. Gilman said, "What is the difference between Omen bakers and Santa Claus?"
No, that's the same name.
Yeah,
That's the same because these people were always dressed like old people with beards and everything. So that's another name. That's a synonym of Santa Claus.
And Saint Nicholas is
Mm.
Santa Claus.
Yes, and Nicholas.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But back in Liberia, actually, people always use the name. I mean, not always. Usually, they use Omen Baker, John the Baker. Omen
Yeah,
Baker, John the Baker. Omen Baker, John the
but
Baker.
Prof, look at this. Old man Baker,
Mhm.
they beg. You give them money. Santa Claus
Mm.
bring gifts.
No, no, that they people didn't know the difference. They just you with your knowledge about other things, you easily say, oh, they're talking about Santa Claus. But the ordinary people, they will always say John. They will, because it was always old man Baker, John the Baker, old man Baker as they were going. They say John the Baker, old man Baker, you come here, come dance more for us. Old
Do
man
they
Baker.
still have people like that? Do they still have people, old man Bakers dancing?
I don't know. It's been a while now, but I would think people have gotten a little what you call sophistication, what have you, so that they are ashamed to dance and what have you. But of course, the best part of the thing was to dress up the person in such a way that you who knew this person outside of the costume will not recognize him.
Oh, Margaret is on this thing. Bono Super 12 African music. How we so love them today when we used to not really care. Then I'm going to
Yeah.
look for it too. So Margaret is going.
Margaret, you better stop.
Mr. Gaiman said one was bigger and one was skinny. Okay, Prof. Yes, and I know people have to do their last minute shopping. Thank God
Mhm.
I'm not going anywhere tonight, but people have to do their last minute shopping. So, Prof, I will let you have your closing comments.
Well, they say what people they say. So you have to help me with this one now, which is that too much work, no play, make Jack a dull boy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that must have been the underlying theme of our work here. A lot of course, this is not to say that today. This is not to say that today what we said was real plain fun or whatever, but there were serious things that came out. But our goal today was to make people laugh and think about their own times and what have you. That's what we try to do. But anyway, again, it's always said that it is very much important for us to know our history. Uh, every now and then there will be that aha moment. Oh wow, I didn't know this was why that particular thing was done and other kind of a thing. So we are happy that Sandra receives or begs her.
Oh, sorry. Anthony.
Well,
Anthony said that Sunday receives or begs indirectly, same as old man beggar.
same as yeah.
And same one say, were they saying John the baker or join the baker?
No, no, no. John the Beggar. That's what they were doing. But
Oh,
we
okay.
didn't.
Join the baker. Okay.
No, not John the Baker. Oh, old man Baker, John the Baker. There's two names they are giving the thing as a way of giving it rhythm. That's what they was doing.
Okay.
Old man Baker. He comes begging now. He's an old man. That sort of a thing. Old man Baker, John the Baker. Old man Baker, John, not John the Baker. hmm So yes, that's it. Please, you keep on reading. Please, you keep on picking stories that will kind of make a lot of us or a lot of other people know something about Liberia and cherish their country. hmm
Yes. So Merry Christmas, everybody. We ask you to join us next week for the New
Yeah,
Year's
yeah,
edition.
yeah.
You
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
we will be talking about New Year resolution and things like that.
hmm
Uh, as Prof said, please, please read. The Library of Congress, I think they said that every time, I think they will dump like 100 years worth of things. So we're going back, we're reading,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes we can't believe some of the things. Oh, Prof, some of the things I'm reading. You would. You
Uh,
only thing I cannot read love letters to the president, or else I've been reading some of those letters on, because I really don't understand why people will keep all these love letters. You're president and you keeping love letter from about 25 girlfriend asking you for money. But
no,
anyway,
well, that's a
we
that's a humanness of people. You know,
Prof.
sometimes people grow into myths. Sometimes they grow into legends. You have to. These stories sometimes bring them down to earth, make them seen as human beings, that they were not out there and all that kind of a thing.
And oh well, let me show our before I give my last words. Let me just show this, which is you a season of peace and joy.
I
Because
know.
we had we had
I
that one.
know.
We want to say thank you. It's amazing, Pop. It's been it's been a year since we
Mm,
started the literary hour, and we've
yeah,
interviewed people, and
yeah.
we don't always do history. It's just that we are really fascinated
Mm-hmm.
by how history informs
Yeah,
literature
yeah,
and literature informs history.
yeah, yeah.
And so we've been interviewing authors, and we'll continue to interview authors, but sometimes we have to read the book, we have to do research, so sometimes it's
Mm,
not easy, especially
yeah,
with our workload.
yeah.
But all in all, when we come, it's lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
We want to not be insistent or dogmatic. So we
Mm-hmm.
just tell you we're on a journey. You can join us for one. You don't have to join us for the other one. Tell your friends about the show. But we're here, and in the midst of the COVID, the
Mm-hmm.
Omicron, the Delta, we're here. You
Whichever
know,
name is going to come again now,
I'm
God
telling you,
knows.
Prof. Israel has started giving the fourth vaccine.
Ah,
Yeah, it was on
Israel.
CNN. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas, everybody. We ask you to be safe. Blessings and Merry Christmas to you and your family, your loved ones
Yeah.
here and in Liberia or
Mm,
wherever they are on the globe. Lift Liberia up. We always say that. Lift Liberia up. Merry Christmas.
mm.
Well, not say Happy New Year because that's next week. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas. Don't eat
Yeah.
too much,
Yes.
and chill.
Don't drink too much too.
Don't drink too much. Don't drink and drive. If you, I
Uh,
mean, like I said, there are wineries all around here. I buy my
yeah.
wine. I sit in the house. So please don't drink and drive. And we want to say thank you for coming on this journey with us. God bless you,
Yeah.
and may you and your family have a peaceful and
Yeah.
happy Christmas,
Yeah.
Prof. And we have to say whether you are spending Christmas here, or you are spending Christmas in
Mm.
Liberia, or you are spending Christmas somewhere where I'm not, or you can think very fondly of your Christmases in
Yeah.
Liberia or the Christmases that you've spent here.
Yeah.
We are all Liberians, and we will
Mm.
continue to lift
So,
our country up. Good night and God bless.
yes.
Yeah. Good
Peace.
night.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.